our rural Saskatchewan. And that's Wayne testing out the drone I just bought in the backyard. Why? Because I told him I'm too busy editing right now. And the blue house there is our neighbor Dave, who's an amazing guy. You can see how much the snow gets in the backyard. The house that was to the left of Wayne was a house we were planning to buy and renovate. But I will tell you how we lost that due to corruption. Well, that's the house outside, and we were planning to, actually renovate outside last year, and we were thinking about putting live wood edge all around the house, covering it because it doesn't look great right now, but we're both very skilled and that was our plan. We still plan to do it. Don't ask me when we'll get to it, but we'll get to it. And when we do, you can be there with us. Well, how did our plans get diverted? Oh my God, there's so much to cover. But let's see if I could begin this and be as simple as I can. Well, I was in the UK after we took a 2 week trip to Cuba in 2023. That was the first time. And then after we bought a renovated motorhome or converted motorhome to travel around the UK, we ended up paying a pub owner even money to park the motorhome as we found out zoning laws of the residential area we were in didn't permit it to be parked there. Anyways, I was scrolling. Actually, no, we were having fun. We were touring around. Anyways, I love shopping. So as I was scrolling the classifieds, I found a beautiful lot being sold by the Manitoba government. They had a few that they were selling in Grand Rapids, Manitoba. So came up with this great idea, which I thought was a great idea, which would have been an amazing financial asset for us to build on. Maybe even rent it out or manage it as an Airbnb. So, plan A then became to sell the motorhome, which was the pub owner, I think, was pretty sad because what we were paying him to park the motorhome, he had said in emergencies, the money came in to do unexpected kitchen repairs in the pub. Um, and it was sad because we put so much work into that motorhome. The redeeming thing is, although we sold it for a bit of a loss because we had other plans, it did go to this guy who is a single dad. I think he said, because he showed me a whole bunch of pictures of his little daughter. She was 3 years old, and he was planning to take her around road trips, you know, all across the UK. And he knew quite a bit about the vehicle, and we were really impressed. Nice guy. So, one thing is, yes, we put a lot into renovating it, but it's good to know that, it has a new life and it's making someone else happy. We planned on every 6 months to travel for 2 weeks and come back and continue our build. But that was not to be, as the lot, once we got to Canada, we found out it was to be delayed by the Manitoba government. And so we figured, why not look for another lot to build while we were waiting? Soon as we arrived in Canada, we picked up our rental truck and around midnight from the Regina airport started the drive to find the little rural hamlet with the GPS on the phone. It was crazy, and I was lost for 2 hours driving around, but finally found it and met up with the shady Oleg who was waiting for us. Yeah. I later realized when he lies, his head tilts and he has a twitch. I just thought it was something he did at first, but realized after it was a nervous habit he had when he lied. He told us it had utilities, and all we had to do was call and it would be connected, and all we would need was building permits. Well, that was a lie. When we ended up calling, it had to have upgraded utilities. Anyways, we paid for it in full the next day because we were unaware of that information till way after at the municipality. This is a video of when we went back to take a better look at the lot. By the way, we found out we paid almost 10 times the amount that it was worth later when we talked to the property of Saskatchewan department. And we were not the only ones Oleg scammed in the end with this property. Well, with the he had other properties that he was selling, and we were not the only ones that were scammed. They thought it was insulation. What in the world is this? So, bought a trailer with a solar system, thinking that we would be able to begin the build and stay in it while it was being done. But along came Tim, who was a friend of Oleg's, and as we later found out, he is also a known bully, a huge known bully in the little hamlet. It's a hamlet actually of 45 people. I think it's actually grown a little bit. Um, he said he knew Oleg scammed us and wanted to help us out as he had a property he no longer used that was his legal grow up just a few months ago. Okay, when something sounds too good to be true, it may just be. Turns out, not only was he lazy and made us clean out all his junk in the house, um, even though he said he would help us, he never helped us at all. He left all the bags, or actually, we placed them all in bags. The house had plants all over the floor. And we told him, we don't smoke. Can you please take it with you? He told us, no, I don't want it. I've gone on to something else. So we had to put all those plants in a bag and we put in huge garbage bags and put it in the municipality bin. Well, it turned out he started bullying us because he gave it to us for a steal, he said. So he expected us to be his lackeys. He wanted us to drive cars for him. I mean, huh? Him and his wife both drive, and we did not want, to drive for him because it just sounds really suspicious. Like, why would we have to drive cars and bring it to locations for you when both you and your wife drive? We ignored him and he started becoming a bully, claiming he knows people and he has friends, really good friends who are RCMP for him. Okay. So, anyways, once again, we tried to ignore him and he was calling instead of texting, which made me even more suspicious. I mean, if you have to say something, you could just text me it. Anyways, we were in Saskatoon when he called and I answered, and he started telling me he would kill Ozzy because Ozzy was barking and supposedly driving him nuts on the call. Did I mention before when we bought the house he wanted my teacup Yorkie, and I told him absolutely not? Anyways, that was the last straw. Wayne was previously worried about him and his threats, about who he knows and what he could have done to us if we didn't do what he said. But I mean, it had to stop. And that phone call, I, I just had to place my foot down. We later found out talking to a woman at the municipality that he tried to run her off the road one night. And she was saying the same thing. People are petrified of him. And he was laughing at her the next day that he tried to run her off the road and he scared her. But she said she had to do the same thing. She got upset, put her foot down, shouted at him, and he absolutely stopped, she said, and doesn't even talk to her. Which is half fortunately, guess what? After I put my foot down, he stopped talking to me, which I am happy. He won't even look at me now, in the eye. Okay. Well, this is the before, and it actually, no, it's not even the before because we had already done a lot of work, a lot of cleaning, a lot of cleaning, and that wall there in the kitchen was just a fake wall Tim had placed up for his, I don't know, he had plants and grow ops and chemicals there. Um, yeah, we did a lot of work as you can see. Hey, so here's an update and Aussies. Okay, well, I would say we've come sort of a long way, you know, from having to do the walls. Yeah, you saw how the all walls looked like. We're not finished, obviously, but at least it's definitely coming along. It is so much better. Obviously, that's just a temporary counter that we put in, and so it's just workable right now. A little bit messy here. We're still finishing off, so But yep, I remember when I just came in and I couldn't even look. Oh, that's the basement. But yeah, we bought. Well, that's from the Tim who owned it before, and he had like this legal grow up because we found he did already tell us, but we did find his documents that said he had a legal grow up, and good God, we tossed out, so I'm telling you, so much weed plants because we don't smoke in the in the garbage. And we had the neighbor ask us why. If we had known he smoked, we would have given him everything that we tossed in the garbage. But I have to tell you a story about that Tim guy. Very sketchy character, but we did get the house off him. And this is everything. Like I said, it's not finished, but just wanted to show you how long we've come. That is the basement, and I'll tell you, I am scared of the basement. I'm scared of all basements if they're not finished. Ta-da, the side room, which I have to do eventually. Ozzy's just trying to take you out to do his own tour. I have to do the walls and obviously do the floor tile. thinking about putting in a small little fireplace there because it is really cold. It's not heated here. And we have to replace the window. It's just about to come down, don't worry. So I did end up going down, but I thought I was videoing, but I didn't. So, I will give everybody a tour later on of the basement so you can see there's a room in the basement. Well, I don't even know if you could call it a room because, okay, there's a water. I don't know how to explain it. There's like a large cement wall, which isn't really a wall because there's like an opening at the top, built really weird. And we traced it where it's made to get water, catch water from the outside, stored in the inside, and there's a tap at the bottom, and it's a really, really large area. Before we figured out what it was, we had no clue, and we were like coming up with these like idols. What in the world? Why is this? There basically a whole room cemented up. Is there like a dead body in there? But I'll show you that because right now what we're doing is we um we have to replace the water tank heater. So eventually we'll be going back in the basement and show you that really weird whatever it is in there. Water tank, water holder, whatever you want to call it. So anyways, like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on our journeys because I have so much more to talk about. I'm trying to sort of pick myself up because we've been through so much scams by people. It's unbelievable. And also, we have experienced major corruption from the Halton Regional Police. They didn't know I was videotaping. There's evidence that they planted, you know, which I can prove. And right now I have it in human rights. Anyways, there is so much, and follow us. So basically, like I said, I am, you know, what was I going to say? Well, we are going to be doing a lot of traveling coming up, and you'll see what it's like to live in rural Saskatchewan as well. And you'll trust me, what's happening with the Halton Regional Police, you will be so totally shocked and surprised that there is such corruption. So, like, subscribe, comment, and follow.